Hey everyone, this is Scott Aukerman. Welcome to the show. This is not the introduction I wanted to do for this episode. On February 11th, after I think over a year of emails of me writing to Adam Scott, Chelsea Peretti, and Harris Wittels, we were trying to schedule a podcast, a sequel to our popular Farts and Procreation series. We finally found a block of time to do it, and so we recorded it. And the episode, pretty typical for us getting together, was really stupid, really silly. It got very dark at times, morbid, a little boring, frankly, in one long section. But most of all, it was super fun. Just really incredibly fun to be around these three people whom I adore. And especially fun to be around Harris, with whom I had not seen a lot recently due to his new job. So a few days later, we were at a party, and Harris and I were talking, and he asked me how I thought the episode turned out. And I said, yeah, I thought it started out really funny. It got sort of diverted by this bit that we were doing where we were trying to read every email that we had sent, trying to schedule the podcast. And he said, yeah, he agreed, but it was super fun, and he wanted to come back in and do more episodes. He was moving to New York soon, just getting an apartment, but he wanted to fit one in before he left. And we talked about how excited he was about the job he was moving there to do and how well everything was going in his life. And then, as most of you know, a few days later, on February 19th, he passed away. I don't feel like I am the perfect person to eulogize Harris. Far more people knew him better. His old friends from Emerson, his co-workers at Parks and Recreation, his bandmates in Don't Stop or We'll Die, his friends in his sketch and improv teams at UCB. But last night, Kulop and I had a lot of those people over for a get-together. I personally did not feel up to it. I didn't want to do it. I'd been sitting around all day feeling depressed. I didn't want to be around people. But Kulop insisted and said it would be good to be around people. And as the night went on, it didn't really turn out to be the somber affair that I had assumed it would be. Because being at a party where people are telling their favorite Harris stories really couldn't be. And so I woke up today feeling a lot better. Harris has been a big part of this podcast since its inception, and a big part of everything that I've done in comedy since the night I met him, which was April 18th, 2006, when, after a recommendation from Jared Grody, I gave him a spot, sight unseen, on the Comedy Death Ray show at UCB. And his jokes that night and every night since just really blew me away. And it's hard to believe that I have only known him for 9 years, because he had probably the quickest rise to professional prominence of anyone I've ever seen in the entertainment industry. It was really annoying, actually. But he was just that good at what he did. In the early days of this podcast, we started doing a feature called Harris's Phone Corner, comprised of terrible jokes that Harris would write down on his phone, but he didn't deem them good enough to actually send them to his Twitter feed. This somehow morphed into Harris's Foam Corner. I don't really remember the details, but you can listen to previous episodes to hear how that happened. And after he died, someone posted a compilation of all of his Foam Corner bits online. And at this party we had last night, almost every one of his friends came up to me and said, "Oh, I listened to his Foam Corner stuff earlier in the day." And they were quoting his favorite, or their favorite jokes of his. And we sort of swapped them. And they just wanted to tell me their favorite bits of foam that he had done on this show. Harris, during his career, he was a brilliant writer, I would say. On shows like the Sarah Silverman program, Eastbound and Down, Parks and Recreation. I used to ask him for jokes for stuff. In fact, a couple of the last Between Two Ferns episodes, he very kindly jotted down a page of jokes. I posted an email on Twitter from him where he just very casually sent me a couple of tossed off jokes that he had thought of at the last minute right before we filmed it. The first joke ended up being told by the president, and the second joke was about pussy, which was a favorite topic of his. As a sketch performer and as an improviser, he definitely was so much fun to watch. He brought joy and ease and a certain affability to the stage. As a stand-up, he was picked by Sarah Silverman and Louis C.K. and Aziz Ansari and to open for them throughout several years. He also coined an actual word, humble brag, which no one I know personally has ever achieved something like that, to actually invent a word that people use. And I would say that being a podcast personality and host would be the least of his professional accomplishments. But while he was here, Harris just couldn't stop being Harris, the real, hilarious, deranged guy that we all knew and loved. And because it's so difficult to know someone's personality from just, watching something that they wrote, these appearances on this show and Who Charted and Rona and Beverly, You Talking You Two to Me, and of course the show that we hosted together, Analyze Fish, it made the audience feel a very deep connection to him. I've received hundreds of messages from people who never met Harris personally, who felt like he was their friend. He got people, strangers, and people including me to listen to Fish and to actually enjoy it, which is an impossible task. And as one of our friends wrote to tell me, it's nice that we have these recordings that we can listen to when we miss him. So I wasn't going to put out this episode. It gets super morbid and weirdly dark in places. I didn't know if that was appropriate. I also didn't want to seem opportunistic, like we're putting out something because we can and because people will want to hear the last podcast he ever did. Mainly, I was worried about, if this isn't the funniest episode that Harris has ever done, why would I want to put this one out? Because I didn't want him to go out like that. But then I texted Chelsea Peretti and I told her, I don't think I'm going to put this out. But when I told Chelsea that, she was adamant. She said I had to put it out. I had to release this episode because who cares what we think about it? Every little thing Harris said was funny, and she just couldn't stand to think that we were never going to get another chance to hear him. And I spoke to more of his friends last night, and a lot of them agreed. They said it would be just a treat to hear him having fun with his friends again. And I started to realize that I think I didn't want to put it out because I really didn't want to listen to it again. Because I thought it would make me feel terrible. But with their encouragement, they said, listen to it and see what you think. And so I listened to it this morning, and I said, if it makes me laugh more than it bums me out, then okay, I'll put it out. And it really, really made me laugh. It really made me feel better. It was just nice to hear from him. So a few days ago, I didn't know if I wanted to even put out a show this week or put out a show next week or even why continue, why keep doing this stupid show. But in the conversation that we had last week at this party, Harris and I were very coincidentally talking about this very subject, just why people watch comedy, what they want when they are watching or listening to comedy, about comedy's purpose in people's lives. And I told him the story of a personal tragedy that my family had gone through over a decade ago. And the just frankly bizarre experience of 2 hours after it happened, all of us not knowing what to do. And instead of just staring at each other, we turned on the TV and there was a silly, stupid sitcom on, and just we all laughed a lot at it. And I just found that to be very bizarre, and it got me thinking about, the definition of comic relief. And he thought about that, and he said, yeah, a lot of people want to do serious stuff with their comedy like, Louis does with his TV show, but I just think motherfuckers want to laugh. So that's what we're going to keep doing. Next week, we'll have a regular show, and the week after that, he would be furious if any of his friends were serious for even 1 second. And I can't go that far, but I can play you this tape of us acting really, really stupid. And on that, guys, what a magical
episode
this was.
On that, guys.
On that, guys, what?
But
Oh, man.
Guys, please promise you'll come back sooner rather than
I hope
later.
to.
Yes,
I hope
yes,
to.
yes. All right.
Anytime you need, if you have a cancellation or whatever, just call me. I live
Will do. Will
in
do.
the Palisades.
Oh, my God. All right. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
okay, here we go. Creak. One time I said to a guy that I loved learning new things. I was like, I'm a bit of an infomaniac. And he thought I said nymphomaniac. And so he fucked me. And I said, no. I'm info. I'm an infomaniac. He said, well, here's some info. You just got fucked. Clean yourself up.
Now, come on, guys. You know I do watch the show. I'm having a little bit of fun with you, but...
You had me at come on, guys. Did you guys hear about that new deal where if you go in on it with a cast member from that 70s show, you get a discount on mustard and or salad toppings? It's Laura Prepon, Grey Poupon, Crouton Groupon. Slam. I've decided that I'm not going to get married until gay people can get married, because I'm gay. Does anyone genuinely know why, at a grocery store, they offer a cashback option? Is that just to be nice?
Cashback of what? How does that work again?
No, you just, you buy food and they go, would you like cash? And then that's like the bank offering you zucchinis. Sit.
Hey, great epithet.
That was that reminded me of when
You two talked about
Mike and Omar would take out the trash when they were young boys. Good eps.
Just so we can kind of hear. Because again, I listened to this a few days ago, but
Wow.
I think that instead of them trying to desalinize the ocean, they should just add pepper. Instead of trying to desalinize the ocean, they should just add pepper.
Shouldn't this segment be called Harris's Twitter drafts?
Well, it's just like the movie Synecdoche, New York. Too many characters.
That is the best joke I've ever heard.
I've said it before and I'll say it again before, but I'll say I've said it before and I'll say it again. Clever.
I want to open a Jamaican, Irish, Spanish, small plate breakfast restaurant and call it Tapas the Morning to Ja.
Oh.
I hate smoking sections, unless we're talking about the movie The Mask with Jim Carrey. Then the smoking section is my favorite part.
Where there's a will, there's a weigh-ins. That's something. And...
Oh my God.
You know how everyone
happened?
says that you should, if you're gonna get a dog, adopt it. All fucking dogs are adopted. No one shoots dogs out of their pussies. Unless you're Mrs. Brodus,
I'm pretty-
Snoop's mom.
I love all of our sub-podcasts. So.
Yeah.
Who's Oliver sub podcasts?
He's a conspiracy filmmaker.
I'm not gay, but my asshole is. Wheat thins? Call me when they're wheat thicks. Give me that wheat.
If someone is being egregious, call them egregious Philbin.
Wi-Fi because fi. Did I tell you I went window shopping in New York last week?
You did tell me that. Yeah,
I bought
so
a
you
window.
don't have to. Oh, really interesting operation you got going there down at Carl's.
Also, we opened a sister store. It's Carl's Jr. It is.
What do you sell there?
Lumber.
Oh, okay.
It's
It
just called
is.
Carl's Jr.
It
Burgers.
is called that.
It's called Carl's Jr. Hamburgers.
Jack, are you okay?
Finish strong. What do you got?
I truly can't.
I'll finish strong. Hey, Brussels sprouts and broccolini. Enjoy your 15 minutes.
Oh.
This is a very unusual Harry Hood jam. I'm enjoying myself. That's because of this jam. It's good. It's funky.
Hey, it's Harris calling from heaven. It's pretty great up here. It's beautiful, for starters. Hitler's up here, however, for the vegetarianism thing. So, calling bullshit on that. But other than that, it's pretty great. It is very cloudy, and you sit on them, so that's cool. Gotta go. Ice cream buffet.